Hey guys, I want to review the dividing the complex numbers. So when expressions are in their simplest form, there should not be any square roots or i's in your denominator. Okay, so if there are, you need to get them out before it's actually in simplest form. Now, to remove i's from our denominator, we have to multiply by the complex conjugate. So we look at our denominator and say, all right, well, what is the complex conjugate of I? Well, if this is a positive I, the complex conjugate is going to be a negative I, okay? So you're going to multiply by negative I, and because we're dealing with a fraction, you have to multiply the top and the bottom, okay? That's going to turn into 2 times negative I is negative 2I. Negative 3I times a negative I is a positive 3I squared. And that's my numerator. Down on the bottom, you have I times negative I, which gives you negative I squared. Okay? We're going to keep going. Here, negative 2i stays, negative 2i. But here, this I squared, remember, I squared is really equal to negative 1. I'm going to change the I squared to a negative 1. So a negative 1 times a positive 3 is a negative 3. And here you have a negative I squared. So the I squared is a negative 1. So a negative 1 times another negative is a positive 1. So what happened here was that was a negative 1 times the I squared was also a negative 1. So we got 1 there. All right, and now when I write it, I want to make sure that I am in A plus BI form. So I'm just going to switch these. Now, I am not changing any sign. The negative 3, still a negative 3. The negative 2i, still a negative 2i. And that is going to be your answer. Okay, the next one is a little more difficult. Okay, so you're asking yourself, you're looking at your denominator and you're saying, what is my conjugate? Okay, so you can't tell me the conjugate until it's in A plus BI form. It is A plus BI form. So the conjugate of 3 plus I would be 3 minus I. Okay, so we are going to FOIL both the numerator and we're going to FOIL the denominator. So our numerator, we're going to get 15 minus 5i minus 6i plus 2i squared. Okay, and below, so FOIL, 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times negative I, negative 3i. I times 3, 3i. And then I times negative I is a negative I squared. Let me move that down to see if I can get that glare off of there. There we go. Okay, so now what you're going to do is these I squareds are actually going to become negative 1s. You have to be careful because that's still minus a negative 1. Okay, so now I'm going to start combining. Okay, you have, let's see, 15 and a negative 2 gives you 13. Okay, you have a negative 6i and a negative 5i, so that's negative 11i. And our denominator, we're going to have a 9 and a 1. So we get 10, and the 3i and the negative 3i, these two cancel, so I have no more i's. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is we always want to write it in A plus BI form. So this would be 13 over 10 minus 11i over 10. That would be written in true A plus BI form. All right, guys, good luck.